Hi, hello everyone. It's News and Notes Day. I'm pre-recording this on Monday evening. We're at a time when all the news for the day has come down. So, pre-recording. And bear with me, it's like a million zillion degrees out. So, let's talk about the big news. At least I think it is. It's kind of a new era for the FPHL. It appears that Barry Soskin is no longer involved in any capacity in the FPHL. Now, we know the stories of a lot of the things that went down last year, especially with Dashers and with the Seawolves, and how basically it was kind of like, they were on their own. Soskin did not have a good year health-wise. I know he had some health difficulties. The details I don't know, but I do know that he was limited. So with two franchises basically kind of getting, for all intents and purposes, abandoned, the league kind of pushed him out progressively. And I thought coming into this year that he was still going to be in the ownership of Carolina and Port Huron, and possibly Watertown. Apparently that has changed. All indications are, of course, the league took over operations in Danville, take care of the Dashers. The Seawolves, a couple other people kind of jumped in to help carry the team through the year. We had an ownership change in Motor City because he was part of the Motor City ownership group at the very beginning of the year. Once Ken Andrews purchased the Rockers, then that was that. Let's see, what else? Tucson. Why did I say Tucson? Wow, Topeka, not Tucson. Topeka. Things were reevaluated when the Scarecrows were getting formed and planned for, and in the end it was just Don Lewis and Chris Bernarski that were part of the ownership there. So he was out there. Blue Ridge, he stepped back out of that. So that left, in the end, all that left was Watertown, Port Huron, and Carolina. My understanding is in Watertown, the league took over the majority of the shares for ownership there. And the same thing has now happened in Port Huron. Don Kiernan, what I was told was he purchased 60% of the ownership of Port Huron. So, and Kerry Ross also basically is now the owner in Carolina. So, there has been a Soskin team or Soskin involvement since the very beginning of the league. Of course, he was the owner of the original Danville Dashers in season 2. So really, since season 2, he's been involved, and now he's completely out. So that is a big change for the league. The only concern that I have at this point is right now the league owns the majority of 2 clubs, and that would be Watertown and Port Huron, and that's not ideal. It's really not ideal. So hopefully another buyer will come up and in both places, in both cities, and we'll have an ownership change. But anyway, so right now what we have is several teams are owned either by one owner or a conglomeration, but it's just one team that ownership is overseeing right now. That would be Binghamton, Danbury, Indiana, Athens, Carolina, and Columbus. Just one team. The owners aren't stretching themselves out into other teams. Now, Don Lewis, he is the primary owner in Topeka. He is still greatly involved in Baton Rouge, and my understanding is he still has a hand in some things in Biloxi. Whether that stays that way or not, that remains to be seen. Chris Bernarski, he is the main guy in Blue Ridge and in Biloxi, plus he is the minority owner in Topeka. Parker Moscow has control of Monroe and PD, and so then we have the league with Watertown, Port Huron. So yeah, different dynamic when the Board of Governors meets for different purposes throughout this year. So that's kind of big news. So yeah, once again, Soskin appears to no longer be a part of the FPHL. All right, on to more pleasant things. The schedule. Hoping we're going to see it by the end of the week. My understanding is there's just one person that's kind of holding it up because they still want to see more changes than the league might be willing to make. But from what I hear, everyone else is pretty happy with the league presenting the final draft of the schedule to them. So hopefully by the end of the week we will see the schedule posted. Now, we did have news today, as you're watching it yesterday, regarding Carolina. They announced that they will be having their home opener October 17th. That's a Friday. They will be hosting the PD Ice Cats in what they are billing as the Clash of the Carolinas. So already Carolina is building up the publicity for a rivalry there, and that's great. That's awesome. So that was added to the docket as far as being announced on social media today. And again, I think that's great. I can't remember the last time that Carolina had their home opener this early. It's usually like the last week in October. So this is good. And of course, there's a lot of upgrades being made to the Fairgrounds Arena this summer. So hopefully, new boards and the ice is going to be better. So that's a good thing. All right. Final thing today is talking about player signings, transactions, and these are the teams that have signed somebody. For Blue Ridge, this is going back within the last 6 days. Brandon Reller, commonly known as Thor, he is back. The forward is back. He had 25 points in 42 games last year. The Bobcats also announced that they have signed defensiveman Lair Patakin. Now, Patakin was with the Watertown Wolves for the first month and a half of the season last year. I feel he was very wrongly suspended by the team when there was the big, huge blow up in Watertown and changes made. He was part of that. Patakin was no longer part of the Wolves. He was put on team suspension. Patakin did work out with the Bobcats for the last couple of weeks last year, and he had played 12 games, so if he could have signed and gotten 3 more games in, he would have been playoff eligible, but the league didn't allow it, so hopefully he can get in a full year this year. Patakin has big guy, very speedy though. He's very physical. He plays a good 200-foot game, and you can't say that about a lot of defensive men. We say that a lot about different forwards. Hey, they have a great 200-foot game. They play well on both ends of the ice. Well, Patakin also fits that bill. Indiana, they signed a couple of players from juniors up in Canada. Michael Spence is a forward. He's coming down from the, I believe, I forgot to write it down. I believe he's the one coming from the SIJHL. And then Adam Zimmerman, he's a defenseman. He's coming from, I believe he was the one coming from the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League. So, 2 juniors looking to make the team once camp breaks in late September. Athens, they signed defenseman Robin Eriksson. Now, Eriksson just came off of a great season with the Evansville Thunderbolts from the SP. Won a championship there, raised the President's Cup, and now he's coming to Athens. So, good defensivemen being signed there. The Binghamton Black Bears signed their captain, Tyson Kirkby. Of course, 97 points in 46 games last year. Fantastic year, and presumably he will be the captain once again of the Binghamton Black Bears this upcoming year. For the Danbury Hat Tricks, Charlie Bedard is coming back. He's been a very good defenseman for them for the last 2 years, and 48 games, 15 points, and a plus 16 last year. So that's very, very good. Of course, Danbury always could use good help on the defensive end to help their goalies out, which goaltenders are always fantastic in Danbury. For the PD Ice Cats, they re-signed, I guess you could say, Frank Steinway. He played with the Venom last year. Actually, he started the year in Monroe and then moved on to the Venom. 41 games played, 10 points. Majority of those games were with the Venom. He ended up with a -6, which really wasn't that bad. I believe it was 27 games he was with the Venom, so not bad. Not bad at all. He's a good puck mover as well. The Columbus River Dragons signed Jake Grade, as in making the grade, defenseman. 50 points 50 games played, 15 points and a +6. That was during the 21 to 22 season, again with the River Dragons, so he's back. The River Dragons bringing back a familiar face. And then, speaking of familiar faces, Port Huron is bringing back Ben Brockway, the big 6'3" defenseman. 5 points in 32 games played. He was limited to 32 games due to injury. Had a very tough December and January, but he was a very important piece of the Prowlers puzzle in the last part of the year and in through the playoffs. So there we go. Those are our signings for the day, or for the week rather, and that pretty much does it for news and notes. Again, the big news, apparently Barry Soskin, we are in the post-Barry Soskin era in the FPHL by all appearances. All right, that does it. That's it for me. I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Make sure you're hitting like and subscribe. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Make sure you're following me on Facebook. That's the big centerpiece for the Fed League Flash. I'm announcing all my news first there. And then, of course, Thursday, we're on the Fed League Flash, the Flash Audio Network, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeart. Make sure to subscribe there as well. All right, thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you on Thursday, the Flash Audio Network, and then we'll see you back here on Saturday on YouTube.